Ah, needed that. What's up, everybody? This is D, MKD58 Media. I needed that water. I was parched. So we got more movie talk. And I actually, at the end of the last video, I hinted at what I was going to be talking about, and it's a movie that I watched a few days ago, 1975, just a super beloved film, super well-known film. Once again, I'm going to use the words iconic and classic because those words just float around a lot, it seems. So, but they apply to this movie, and I'm talking about Jaws, 1975, starring Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Schneider. So, yeah, watched it, and really good film. Things, just initial thoughts about it, just some initial things that stand out upon revisiting the film. You don't see the shark a lot compared to movies of today, as far as what you would when you see the monsters and stuff of movies in present day times, compared to when you compare present times and then that movie, you did not see the monster very much, but it didn't hurt the film at all. It actually probably added impact to the film. And when you did see the shark, it looked good. Like, it looked good enough. It was one of those things where, once again, I've seen a whole lot of behind the scenes featurettes and all that kind of stuff, talking about just various different movies. So there's a lot of movies that, like, I know how they did certain stuff. So, which, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of know some of those secrets, as far as like how they did Jaws, and just, the special effects in Independence Day when they blew up the White House and the monuments and all that type of stuff. But because you remember back in the day, there used to be this show, sidebar, there used to be this show on Discovery Channel called Movie Magic. I don't know if any of you remember that, but back in the day, there used to be this show called Movie Magic, and it would come on the Discovery Channel, and I used to love that show. It would just show all the different tricks they used to do certain special effects shots in certain movies and stuff. And so it's just a lot of stuff about miniatures and scale models, and then like camera tricks, and just a lot. I remember it being a lot of stuff about the special effects that were like practical and didn't necessarily involve heavy CGI. They did talk about some things that involve CGI, but not just total CGI. It was really nitty gritty movie business, or I should say show business, behind the scenes, practical effects type stuff. And it was a really cool show. I don't know if they have anything like that anymore, but I'd like it if they bring it back. That was a long sidebar, sorry about that. But anyway, so my point being is the effects in Jaws are just they're really practical. And the shark that they use, obviously the fake shark or whatever, it looks realistic. It's obviously a fake shark, but somebody's calling me right now, but I'm just gonna ignore it. Anyways, it's obviously a fake shark, but it looks good, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like, well, at that point in 1975, I wouldn't expect them to get too much better of a looking shark, animatronic shark, than what they got. And when you see it in the film, when I see it in the film, it has high impact, like the size. It looks very realistic because the size, it doesn't look oversized. It's not like, it doesn't look like unrealistically large. Like, I've seen, National Geographic photos of great whites that look to be about that size and everything. So it didn't come off as fake. Whatchamacallit, it just, and when you finally did see the shark, it would have impact because of its size and because of basically how realistic it looked. And we all know, like, with fear, a big thing about fear is the unknown. Sometimes what you don't see can make things more a little more scary, and a lot of movies have took advantage of that kind of that theory and stuff, where they conceal the threat throughout most of the movie, if not the whole movie even. And Jaws does that to really great effect. Now, obviously, I don't know the complete backstory, but I honestly think a big part of the reason why they did it that way was due to just lack of money, and just the fact that it would be easier to not show the shark as much because it's more special effect shit you got to do. You know, the more you show the shark, that's just what that would be my guess. I don't know that for sure. They might have really planned it that way and that was the intent, to create tension, to not show the shark a lot. But either way, it works to great effect. Movie starts off, there's going to be spoilers in this. It's an super old movie, so if you haven't seen it, I'm letting you know right now, spoiler alert, but it's an old movie, so hopefully you've seen it. It starts off, you know, a young girl gets, you know, killed by the shark or whatever out in the water taking a swim while the dude passes out on the beach. It opens the movie that way, and basically, and you don't see anything, you know, gory, at least with the first kill. But basically it's about this, you know, this large shark, this great white shark that's basically using this beach resort area as a feeding ground, as a hunting ground. And kind of follows we follow Roy Schneider. I don't have any media here with me, so I keep messing up names and stuff. Roy Schneider plays like the chief of police for this small resort community or whatever, and he's kind of spearheading the battle to try to take care of this shark. And he's the chief of police, but he doesn't really get treated like he's the chief of police in the traditional sense. Like, he's kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and he's not really in control. Everybody's coming to him for stuff, and he knows everybody and everybody knows him, and he's running around trying to help everybody and stuff like that, being a real good community guy, but he's still not really in control. He's in a position of power, but he doesn't really handle himself like he's in a position of power. At least that's the vibe I got in a lot of the scenes that I saw him in. Like, he was kind of like, you know, yeah, anyways, I'll leave it there as far as speaking about him. But yeah, so they're basically, and then Richard Dreyfuss is this guy that comes in who's studied, you know, sea life and sea creatures and stuff like that, animals, before, and has experience on the water and all that type of stuff. And he comes in from, I can't remember what his official title is, but he's like some sort of oceanic guy, and he's smart and all that shit. So he comes in to try to help figure this shark problem out, and things go on from there. Some other things to point out about this movie: there's a kill. This young boy gets killed. I think he might be the second person to get killed by the shark, at least on screen, or if I remember correctly. But they're all on the beach, and this young boy gets killed out in the water. And I remember being kind of like, you know, slightly jarred because I forgot. Like I said, it's been over a decade since I've seen the movie, so I didn't remember this part when this boy got killed. And the way they went into the kill, like, there was no lead in. He just, like, there wasn't that music. You know, when you watch movies like this, there's always music or some hint that something's about to happen. Now, you know, obviously, because there were lots of people in the water and the movie's about a shark, maybe that's enough of a hint that something's about to happen. You know, they're showing scenes of lots of people in the water. But I mean, beyond that, there wasn't any music or just anything that lets you know, oh, you know, shit's about to go down. And then just all of a sudden you cut to it, and it's like, you know, the boy's getting, you know, he's flailing around out in the water, and blood is, you know, all around him. He's, you know, getting, you know, fucked up and all that type of stuff. So, and there's no music. It's just happening. It's very kind of real in the way that it's shown. It's not stylized at all. It's just like, oh, he's just out in the water getting, and then it's taking people a while to notice it. That's also kind of eerie about the scene, is that it's taking other people a while to notice it, because they're in the water too, kind of facing in different directions and frolicking, as they say, and having fun out in the water and shit. And then, you know, the little boy starts getting attacked, and then they notice, and people start screaming. And I don't know if you see it. Yeah, if you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. And if you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. But it was kind of an interesting little moment. But so you know, just that's an observation. Yeah, so just overall, I'll just say it's a really good movie. Real quick, I'll give it a score. I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10. That's when I've decided, I know I said, I know I said last time that I'm going to come up with some sort of rating system. I've decided, I think I'm going to just do the one scale of 1 to 10 just for now, just because it's to me, that might be the best rating system for movies. I like that scale better than going 1 through 5. And I could have, like I said, 5 popcorn kernels or 5 star. I could have come up with some sort of any type of icon and just say 5 of these. But I just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna, there's lots of other folks out there that do movie reviews, and they have, their variations of icons, 1 through 5 stars, or 1 through 5, like I said, popcorn kernels or whatever, just different types of things to represent their rating system. And I don't want to just jump on that. So I'll stick with something that's kind of traditional, but very flexible, yet very also easy to understand. So 1 through 10 works. I think that's a good rating system. So 8.5 out of 10 is what I give Jaws. It might even deserve a little higher, but I'm sticking with that because I mean, it's going to be hard to do. I mean, you probably already know if you watch other movie reviews and stuff like that other people do and stuff, like it can be hard to be consistent. Like because if you give this, it's like if I give Terminator 2, if I give that a 10, like, what am I going to give something, what do I give The Matrix? Does The Matrix have to get a 10 if I, and I know it's kind of a personal preference thing, not always. And that's another thing. How do you rate a movie? Do you rate it on just personal preference of what you liked and what you enjoyed? Or do you rate it on actual quality of the film? Like sometimes we know you can tell sometimes if a movie is well made, but it's just not your style of film. And it might be boring to you just because of the topic. Like, how does that play into one's rating of a film? But I guess, hey, this is my channel, so I'll personalize it and just do it the way I want to do it. So 8.5 out of 10 for Jaws. Super classic film, very well done. It's very similar to the more recent older movies that I've reviewed, Alien and The Exorcist. Very similar to those, into where there's not much, if anything, that I can point out bad about the film. They were very efficient with how they did things and made good use of what they had. Now, the one thing I will say, mentioning Alien 1979 film, when I did that review, I talked about how there were a couple points where the xenomorph looked fakish, looked goofy, like a guy in a suit, and not in a good way. And how I noticed that. So conversely, in Jaws, there were moments where the shark, you could tell it was an animatronic shark. And like I said, that might be just because I knew it was an animatronic shark, just because of watching lots of movie magic videos, and then common sense, because they weren't using CGI back then. But even though I knew it was an animatronic shark, it looked good enough to where and realistic enough to where it didn't matter and it didn't hurt the scene. Like, it didn't jump out as goofy, in the same way that there were split-second moments in Alien where it looked goofy, like the suit, like parts of the suit. I know that's sacrilegious to say, but that's just, I gotta go with what my gut emotion was when I saw certain stuff. So, but and Jaws made like I said, they were very efficient with how they showed the shark and when they showed the shark. And just the fact that, the ocean in itself is kind of scary, well, very scary actually, not knowing what's in there. The ocean is pretty much like outer space in a way, except down there in a way. So yeah, Jaws excelled in an area where Alien failed a tiny bit. Alien didn't really fail, but just there were like I said, a couple scenes where the alien, parts of the alien suit looked goofy, like it looked cosplay-ish, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's it. I keep saying these reviews are going to be brief, and they end up being longer than I intend them to be. So I do apologize for that. But yes, final verdict, Jaws, 1975 film. Great horror. You could call it a horror movie, horror creature feature style film. In the same vein as this is gonna sound real bad to say, but like Lake Placid, Lake Placid, Deep Blue Sea, The Meg, Jurassic Park. The only reason I was in Jurassic Park, out of all the movies I just named, Jurassic Park is only one that even deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as Jaws in terms of quality of film. But I just say that to say, I mentioned those other films to say there's similar concepts in terms of there's a big ass thing with teeth running around, moving around, swimming around, running around, eating people. So that's why I compared those films. But anyway, so 8.5 out of 10 for Jaws. All right, you guys, I got there's gonna be some more reviews coming. Like, I'm always watching movies. Actually, and tonight supposed to be watching The Purge season finale, which aired yesterday, and we recorded it. I still haven't watched it yet. Haven't seen any spoilers, fortunately. So spoilers are pretty easy to avoid, though, if you're not just crazy on social media. And I guess people get spoilers on like Facebook and stuff like that. I'm not really crazy on Facebook and shit, so it's pretty easy to avoid certain spoilers. But so later on, we're supposed to watch Purge season finale. That was a good show, and I saw that they're getting picked up for season 2. So I'm very excited about that, because that's a good little series. I like that Purge universe. There's a lot to explore with that universe. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's something that I recommend to you. If you haven't been watching it, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can, on your on-demand services and stuff, you can catch up and watch old episodes, I believe. But yeah, so thanks for watching, you guys. More stuff will be coming. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, take care.
Audio Jungle.